Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Carmel Browne. I'm a licensed clinical social worker and I make videos focused on helping you live your very best life on your own terms. My personal mantra is own your life, own your crazy. In January of 2020, my home burned down. I had come to Atlanta for a job interview and I left for one day. I left at 6 a.m. and I came back at 6 p.m. And in that time, I had lost 25 years of my life. Exactly 1 month later, I moved to Atlanta. And at the time, I thought that I was being sent there by God. I felt that God had a message for me and that he wanted me to make this very drastic move. It was a leap of faith. But for the next year and a half, I didn't unpack what few belongings I had left from my home. I lived in boxes. Me and my 2 dogs, Michelle and Tigger, had a 3-bedroom apartment with no furniture. We had boxes in the living room. We had a 65-inch TV leaning against the wall. And we just sort of lived as if we had just moved into that apartment for almost 2 years. And at the time, I thought nothing was really going on with me. I thought I was fine. I really, really did. You know, when people would ask me, why haven't you unpacked? Why haven't you gotten new furniture? Why don't you have any art on the walls? I thought everybody's reacting so weird. I'm perfectly fine. What is wrong with you people? But it took one of my staff insisting that I take a living room couch to finally understand that something was really, really wrong with me. I was not fine. And when that living room couch came and I popped it down into my very empty living room, I stopped and looked around. I didn't have any art on the walls. I didn't have a rug. I didn't have end tables. I didn't have a cocktail table. My television was leaning against the wall. I was living like a hobo. And that's when it hit me. Something really was wrong. And I realized that I had been depressed for almost 2 years. And for some reason, I didn't know that. See, that's what happens with depression. It sneaks up on you. You still go to work every day. You know, you still pay your bills. You still take showers. You do the basics. But you're not really living. You're existing. But you're not thriving. And that's what happens when we think about depression. We hear somebody who doesn't go to work, who stays in bed all day, who isn't eating. You know, maybe they're drinking too much, but they're not getting up every day and fulfilling their jobs and their obligations and taking care of their kids. That's not depression. But it actually is. It's a mild form of depression. And why it's so seductive and can sneak up on you, every once in a while you do hang out with friends and you're happy. Every once in a while you do enjoy your life. But most of your life is just blah. It's just blah. That's the only way I can describe it. It's just blah. You're not really living. You're just surviving. You do the basics. So when I looked at myself and I realized that I was living in a home without a piece of art on the wall, I knew something was wrong. I finally had that moment, an aha moment where it clicked. You have not been living. I wasn't wearing makeup like I used to. I wasn't wearing all my 6-inch heels that I love and I've been collecting over the years. Ironically, the shoes were the one thing that was saved from the fire. But I wasn't wearing them. I wore gym shoes to work every day. And for those of people who knew me from Chicago, the only time I wore gym shoes was in the gym. But I started wearing scrubs to work every day. And that was it. Scrubs and gym shoes. No jewelry. No makeup. Not getting my hair done. like I was accustomed to. I was just barely existing. My home in Chicago was filled with art that I had collected for years. Beautiful works of art from wonderful original artists. I didn't have a single piece of art on the walls in my apartment. In Chicago, I nested. I made home. I had things that I collected. I cooked. I had pots and pans and artifacts from all over the world. And I didn't do any of that when I got to Georgia. I didn't realize that something was wrong with me. And then I figured it out. After the fire, I felt that I didn't have the right to grieve the loss. I didn't lose my life. I didn't lose the dogs. Nobody died. I just lost stuff. And I felt, how dare you, Carmel? How dare you feel bad about losing stuff? It's a pandemic. You go to work every day. You can pay all your bills. You're still healthy. I refused to grieve because I felt I didn't have the ability, the right to grieve. And in denying myself that right to grieve, I stuffed all those feelings way down, all the way down. And I refused to acknowledge my grief. I stopped talking to people, family, friends who reminded me of my past. I wouldn't collect anything. I stopped going to the gym. I put on weight. I lost myself. Now, in 2023, I can finally say that I'm coming back to who Carmel has always been. I'm not nesting anymore in the way that I might have in Chicago, but I am nesting in a different way. I don't have any original art on the walls, but I do have art on the walls. I have a home again, a home that is filled with love and plants and my dogs. But that's the power of coming out of depression and acknowledging the pain of where you have been. So how do you know you're depressed? You're just blah. You just try to exist from one day to the next. There's very little that brings you joy. You're just trying to get through the day. You have responsibilities that make you get up every morning, but you really can't wait to go to bed every night. That's what depression is like. But you can stop this cycle before it gets worse. You can change. Take small steps today. Recognize that you're not yourself. You're not functioning the way that you should. Take a lesson from my story and say, I want more for myself. Go to therapy. Take your vitamins. Exercise. Dream. Find a passion project. Eat fish. Drink green tea. Believe in yourself. Love yourself. Own your life. Own your crazy.